So I am here with my friend Martha Sanchez from State Farm Insurance. I'm going to let her introduce you, and we are going to find out why this lady has been so successful in her business. Hey, Martha.
Hello.
Love my Martha.
Love my Beth.
So introduce yourself to everybody.
So my name is Martha Sanchez. I have been working for State Farm for 15 years. Recently, back in September, I moved to a new office, which is here, that I absolutely love. But it's all about...
You do seem so much happier here.
I love it here.
Yeah.
It's about not what you do, but where you do it sometimes.
So how did you get started? 15 years ago, you're kind of my age. So what were you doing before State Farm?
So I was at another insurance agency company.
Okay.
And a friend of mine called me, I don't even know if he texted 16 years ago, but I know, she texted me. No, she called me, she's like, hey, my insurance agent wants somebody that hablas, which means that somebody's bilingual. She's like, you should go talk to her. And I did. I went and spoke with that person, and she hired me on the spot. She said, I have a passion and I have a vision. She said, I want to be the first Hispanic State Farm agency in Durham. And she said, I have approximately 3 customers that speak Spanish now, and I would like to grow it. So I was like, okay, let's do it.
So
and
what made you
history.
get your license?
Once I got there and saw the need for people to understand insurance and not just be taken advantage of, sold to, just a number in and out, come on, let's get them in, let's get them out. Because when I was at Nationwide, it was kind of like that.
Okay.
It was, you have 3 minutes to do this, you have 5 minutes to do that. It was very timed and very just
wow, so
in
they
and
kind
out.
of quoted your time as
Yes, yes, because they wanted numbers. So when I went to the new office, when I moved to State Farm, it was different. I was given a lot of flexibility. She's like, you know what? Make this your baby, make it happen. I don't know how you're gonna do it, but do it. So it took a lot of hard work. It took a lot of hard work. You know, my baby was 4 she was 3 when I started working there. And they basically grew up in that office, and they would sleep in that office sometimes.
Yeah.
I started doing festivals. I would do homeowners workshops. I would volunteer left and right and just put my name out there and make connections with anybody that I could. And I still have that mentality that insurance is something everybody needs. So there's a different opportunity per se in every person, whether it's someone that has a disabled child or a very sick child, because you're thinking about, oh my God, what if that little girl, little boy doesn't live very long? How are they going to pay for a funeral? Or, you know, someone that has just been diagnosed with cancer, which has happened a lot. You know, oh my God, how is she going to work now? She's disabled. So I'm thinking, and those are all insurance thoughts, but also because I love to help people. Getting a call from someone that says, hey Martha, you know, we were in an accident. Or hey Martha, our house just burnt down.
Yeah.
Or Martha, my son or my husband or my wife just passed away. And you're that little ray of hope, or that little bit of sunlight when someone is in a really dark moment. And that hits, you know, that goes to your heart. So that's what keeps me in it, you know.
You definitely have a different mindset of when you see people, like, I see their situation, I need to educate them, I need to, you know, whatever.
Yes, definitely.
And ever since I have known you, you have always been that person, like, let me educate. I don't want to sell to you, I want to educate you.
Yes.
Because you have been so helpful with my own stuff and educating me on things that, you know, Beth, have you ever thought about blah, 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 blah? No, I haven't, didn't know it existed. So, yeah, I think that's really important. Why do you think you have been so successful?
It's because of that reason, that I don't use, even if it takes 2 or 3 or 4 conversations with someone, I still, you know, I still talk to people if you buy from me or if you don't.
Mhm,
You know, I could buy Mary Kay from you every day for years
Mhm.
and never say, hey, where do you have your car insurance? Hey,
Right.
but just like you're doing a service to me when you say, hey, we got this new green little stick,
Yeah.
or hey, this new highlighter came out, do you want to try it? Or, you know, my favorite brush.
Mhm.
It's the same thing.
Same thing.
It's the same thing. It's just you have a passion for what you do.
Mhm.
I know hundreds of Mary Kay ladies.
Yeah.
Hundreds
Yeah.
of them, and people will come to me all the time. I've been, you know, in the dollar store or at the Mexican store. Hey, listen, you know, I sell this. I sell Mary Kay. Are you interested? Look, let me get. I have my lady,
Mhm.
and people respect that.
Well, they do respect that, and when people have questions about certain products or whatever, you want to give them to somebody that you trust,
Mhm.
well, that you know, like, and trust. And so that is really huge, because in the State Farm, in the insurance business, you don't want to just feel like you're sold to
Mhm.
in insurance and different things. What kind of things do you think being able to be bilingual, which is phenomenal, I'm jealous about that, how has that helped you in your business?
You know what? It's helped and it's hurt. It's been both ways, because the Hispanic community is a very needy community. A lot of handheld or holding hand, whatever. You know, it's the people that they build this trust with you where they come to the office when they're pregnant, and then they have this baby, and then this baby's going to kindergarten, and before you know, they're in front of you that their kid needs their license. And that right there is a feeling that makes you feel old as shit.
Yeah, it does.
And I'm like, damn, you know.
I just lived through all of that.
Yes, and
it's also at the same time got to make you feel very
it
proud.
does, it does. And I've become friends with a lot of my clients, a lot of them. They'll invite me to their houses. They'll bring me gifts from, you know, wherever they go.
Yeah.
But also, they'll be the ones that, hey, can you read this letter for me? Hey, I got in a car accident with such and such, and it wasn't my fault, but can you call the other insurance company for me? Or, you know, I got this letter, and they'll show up at my office and have a stack of letters, and I'm like, these are car warranties. These are not insurance letters. But you know what? It's hard. It's hard to have that line, you know.
Yeah.
And then you also have that line where, you know, some people will want to be disrespectful or yeah. I mean,
Tell me about that.
I've had a few times at my other job, not here. I try not to bring that bad stuff with me, but I did have a lady that, and I'll never forget her. I don't remember her name or her face, because if she walked in right now, I wouldn't even remember that was her.
Yeah.
But she came into the office and she was talking to our receptionist. She's like, I have a toll bill and I need you to pay me. And the girl says, well, we only write these once a week. I'll make a copy of it and you can come pick it up or we'll mail it to you. And she's like, no, I want my money now. And I could hear her from my office, and I'm just listening and listening, and I'm listening to how the receptionist is handling it, and you know, she's being, you know, professional and just getting to the point with her. And then the lady just starts cussing. You MF this. I'm like, whoa, whoa, whoa. So I'm like, hey ma'am, you know what's going on? I'm the manager. How can I help you? And she said, well, I need you to pay me this. I said, well, ma'am, there's information missing off of this document, so I cannot pay you for this. I need more information. And she went the hell off.
Wow.
I mean, she was like, you MF for this and that. And then I was standing behind the counter, and she came around and came to my face and drew her hand back.
What?
Yes, girl, I'm going to tell you what. I am from Chicago, so you can take the girl out of the hood, but you can never take the hood out of the girl, believe me. I took off my shoes. I was wearing a dress, and there was other customers in the lobby. And I said a lot of words to her that I'm not going to repeat right now. And another coworker came up, heard the commotion, and made her leave, because after she came at me, I don't remember a lot of what happened.
Yeah, you went tunnel.
I went very tunnel, and I just remember telling her, you know, in my mind, if she touches me, I am going, this is not going to end good.
Right,
it's not going to be good.
So she was wanting payment for tolls.
Yeah, for a toll bill. Her car had broke down, but it was like the receipt was suspicious. So I can't, I have the authority from State Farm to say, hey, listen, I have a checkbook from the company that I have authority to sign my name on and write you a check on the spot. If your house burnt down and you need emergency money, I can give you money.
Yeah.
If your car broke down and you bring me a receipt, I can give you that money right back. So
But that comes with a huge
it does.
responsibility.
It really does. So I would never put my authority on or license on the line for something that, that's simple. Because I told her, I'll call a tow company. I'll have them send me another one. I'll get you a check this afternoon or whatever. Call them now, try to give her options. She ended up leaving. She didn't, the next day she came back with somebody else. I didn't even know that was her that came back. She brought someone with her and she talked to the other person in the office. I didn't even know. I greeted her when she walked in. Hey, how are you? Someone will be right with you, blah, blah, blah. Didn't even know that was the same person that I had almost gotten in a fight with.
That is funny.
But she went and spoke with someone else and said that her daughter had recently been murdered and that she was so mentally unstable and it makes me sad and just that she was just so messed up that she came in there and acted a plumb fool. And sometimes we don't know what people are going through. So it's things like that I go back and I'm like, okay, that this is a special case. This is something, that I'll never forget and that I learned a lesson from. I always hear people say, well, you don't know what people are going through. And that's very true. And I got that lesson. So, it's just things like that, that have happened throughout my life that have just kept my passion there. Because then she ended up coming back a few more times and she got on medication and she was one of the nicest people you'd ever meet. Normal, just,
Wow, that is sad.
It is sad.
Because I don't know how I would act if something like that happened.
And
so we have to give people grace.
Yeah,
sometimes.
and when she used that race verbiage that, that a lot of people, oh yeah, she went there.
Okay.
So that I think was hard. That was a lot.
Yeah.
That was really hard because I'm that person, my customer service voice went to Harvard,
Yeah.
And I've had customers that'll say, oh, a Mexican hit me. And I've said to them, in there, at the end of the conversation, you were so helpful, thank you very much. I'm like, well, I'm just a good old Mexican trying to help people out. and I'll get that, what? Oh yeah. And
Have
it's
you
hard.
found that though in your line of business that there is racism?
Absolutely. A lot of our community is in chaos. This state has created complete chaos, and it's I can see both angles of it because most Hispanics don't have license, but they're not they're not having an opportunity to have one. And this is my thing. If you're here doing bullshit and you're out of line and no, you don't deserve anything. I 100% agree with you. But if my child is on the road, my 3 kids are on the road, and one of them has my grandson in their car, and a Hispanic person hits them, and they're so scared because they don't have a license, because someone else put that vehicle in their name, or they have minimum insurance, and they take the hell off. That affects me too.
Right.
Because that hits me directly. But the Hispanic person will do exactly what you tell them. If you tell a Hispanic person, hey, listen, you have to come every 6 months to DMV and you have to pay a $25, $50 fee. We'll renew your license every 3 months, every 6 months. You will pay an extra $100 a year on top of what we're already charging you. They'll do it. They'll do exactly what they're made to do.
So you think it's more of they need to be educated about the process?
Well, there's not an option.
Or do you think they're just trying to get by with something?
See, the thing is, if there's not an option, because mass transportation in this state is non-existent. So in California, it's okay if they don't give you a license because there's 30,000 buses. There's,
Everywhere.
Yeah.
And not in a city block.
Exactly.
So to speak. Yeah.
You can take the train. You can take, all these other options. Then people are okay with not driving or not having a car. But here, when you get a bus every hour and you have to take 6 buses to get, 2 blocks. That's exaggerating, but whatever.
Right.
So you're looking at, okay, what about if we did something like, hey, you know what, if you cannot prove your legal status in this state, you will have a provisional license. That's good for 9 months, okay? Every 9 months you come in, and if you've had a DWI, if you've had a hit and run, if you've had a major violation, guess what? We're not gonna give you a license anymore. You're fucked. But you know what? If you're this person that will come in and pay and keep your insurance and be a safe driver and not drink and, you know, and follow the laws of this, the driving laws of this state,
Right.
then you know what? Let's have accountability and let's be able to track this.
Sure.
Let's know who's driving these cars and where they live and that they have insurance and that they're doing things the right way to keep our families safe.
It's funny that you said that your Hispanic children feel like, you know, if another Hispanic hits them, that they may not be insured.
Yeah.
Because, you know, I hear this a lot with other people, so it's not, it's kind of like the thing, I hope a Hispanic don't hit me.
Exactly. I
know?
don't. I hope a Hispanic never hits
And
me.
I'm like, that's so bad, but, cause see, then on my point, and maybe you can educate me about this, I'm thinking, well, hell, if they do, I've got, what's that?
You have uninsured motorist
Uninsured.
coverage.
Exactly.
Right, but let me tell you about uninsured motorists.
Okay.
Just because they hit you and take off
Mm-hmm.
doesn't mean that they're uninsured. That means that they ran and you're screwed. So
what
if you don't
happens?
have full coverage, you don't get paid
Oh,
if
if I
that
have full
person
coverage
leaves
on.
on your car.
Okay,
So if I hit you and I take off and you don't grab my license plate number and you don't know what the hell happened, guess what?
Right.
It falls on you.
oh, wow,
Yeah.
as if,
So you'll see people get out of these cars and run. I knew a guy that was on 40 and got in an accident. Police, you know, came, everybody was there, and you know what this dude did? He ran into the damn road and got killed by another car.
oh, good
Yeah,
Lord.
all because he didn't have a license. And he was
Wow.
scared out of his life,
So
and guess
they're
what?
so scared.
A lot of them are.
So what does somebody like you, a Hispanic agent, what do you do to help that situation?
You know, I try to educate people. I tell them, I'm like, listen, I always tell people, do not run.
Mhm.
You have insurance, we will pay no matter what. Whether you have a license, whether you don't have a license, whether you loan the car to the neighbor, whether you loan the car to your neighbor's neighbor,
Mhm.
it will be okay. Because you've just made a storm in a cup of water
Mhm.
turn into a flippin' hurricane.
Mhm.
Because we can take care of this,
Mhm.
you know. And I tell people, you know, minimum liability, that's one thing, because a Hispanic person, I want the cheapest, I want it the quickest, I want the basic, I don't want more than I need to have. And trying to teach people, hey, listen, you don't really want that. You're saving $7 and you're just putting all this risk on you.
Oh.
And it's hard to do that, but you know, I'm pretty convincing. I can really talk to people, and it's because I don't force them to do something.
Right.
I was always in a position where I didn't make commissions.
Mhm.
So we sold 1,000 policies or one policy, you still had your paycheck.
Mhm.
So it made a big difference as
Mhm.
far as, you know, oh, well, you know what, I need to sell, I need to get them in and out. Let me give them this, let me give them that, let me get them out of here. Turn into, hey, listen, I want to be your agent of choice.
Mhm.
I want you to call me. I want you to have life insurance. I want you to have disability insurance. I want you to have a decent coverage on your car.
Mhm.
I want you to have, you know, understand deductibles and understand homeowners insurance, because a lot of people have houses.
Yeah.
You know, and people will call me, hey, my refrigerator broke down. I'm sorry, that's maintenance.
Yeah, that's maintenance.
You know, so that's like, well, what's insurance for? I'm like, well, I remember when we had this conversation.
Yeah.
So I try to meet with everybody that I do a homeowner's policy for. Hey, listen, I have a homeowner's packet for you.
Mhm.
We're gonna go over what's covered, how it's covered, your deductible. And some people will say, well, you know, my realtor says that I can go with this insurance. Okay, but who are you gonna call when something happens?
Mhm.
You're gonna call your
Exactly.
realtor again? So that, you know, and we don't give
that's the
kickbacks.
very reason that I have stayed with State Farm, you know, my whole, I was gonna say adult life, but I've had it ever since I was 16, because
Yeah.
mom and dad had it. And anytime I've ever had a situation, big or small, you know, they've always been pleasant to work with, even the claims center.
Yeah, for the most part, they are. You know, we have our bumps in the road, and this will happen. But I'm a very defensive person. You know, if a client comes in, one time this man said, "Hey, you know what? I had a theft," and the claims person said something really off the wall to me. I'm like, "Well, what did he say to you, Mr. Garcia?" He asked me, "How did you have all that stuff in your car? Did you happen to have your mom's blender in there?" So I called that person.
Mm-hmm.
I said, "Hey, listen." I said, just because he doesn't speak English
Mm-hmm.
and you're working for State Farm and you're supposed to be helping this person, that was very disrespectful of you to say that to him.
Right.
I said, you don't know what this person is going through. And he's in shambles over this loss.
Right.
And you just made him feel even worse. And I reported him.
Yeah.
I reported him to the supervisor, and I'm like, you know what, that's not acceptable.
No.
It's not acceptable to me. So, you know, it's a balance, because sometimes things like that, do I have time to do that? But you know what, but I need to do that.
You need to do that.
And it's part of I'm letting them know, you know, hey, this person is going to call you and apologize to you.
Yeah. I guess you probably take it on as it's part of your job. It's not part of your job, but it is part of your job, because it's the whole, you know, anytime you are dealing with people and sales and stuff, it's all about relationships.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what keeps people coming back to you,
Yes.
as opposed to somebody else.
Mm-hmm.
And so, you know, when they do need something, you know, because nobody wants to pay insurance.
Nobody.
Nobody wants to pay it. But when something happens, that's the first thing they
You
want.
think about, yeah, exactly.
And, you know, it is one of those catch-22s, because, no, I don't want to pay insurance,
Mm-mm.
but I want to make sure I'm covered.
Yes.
So,
But you know that in the state of North Carolina, you don't have to have insurance?
you don't have to have what kind?
Liability insurance. If
Wow.
you go down to the state and you put in, is it 60? I think it's $85,000. If you go and put $85,000 secured money with the state, you don't have to have auto insurance. Yep.
Really?
Mm-hmm. You don't have to have it, because the state minimum liability is $30,000 per person, $60,000 per accident, and $25,000 in property damage. So you take that 60, that 25, and that's $85,000. If you go and put that money downtown and say, hey, I don't want insurance, I'm going to be my own insured. Here you go.
So you can be self-insured?
You can be self-insured
How long does that last? Like,
as long as you have the money there.
wow.
Yeah. So I had one time a man called and told me, he said, you know what? Insurance is a joke. We shouldn't even have to have insurance. I hate insurance. He was always so negative. I said, let me tell you something, mister. You know you don't have to have insurance. Go and take $85,000 downtown Raleigh and secure yourself, self-insure yourself, and you don't never have to deal with any insurance company again in your life.
Wonder if he did.
He didn't.
Probably because he didn't have the 85,000
Exactly.
cash to do that.
Exactly.
But I will tell you, I did not know that.
Yeah.
I had no idea
Yeah.
about that. No, I'm not going downtown to take them 85,000, but
Yeah.
that is crazy.
Isn't it crazy?
That is nuts.
Yeah.
What other products do you guys have that people wouldn't think? I mean, you think State Farm, you think of PNC, you think property and casualty, you think vehicle. But
One of the big things that State Farm has, a lot of people don't know about, is State Farm Bank. State Farm Bank is a virtual bank. It's basically more for State Farm clients, but if someone saw a commercial or knew about it through a friend, we couldn't turn them away. So they would do vehicle loans, recreational vehicle loans. Here in the near future, we heard that they're going to be bought out by somebody else, and State Farm's gonna pull away from that. But all of this happened, so we don't know what's gonna exactly happen with that. But there's all kinds of stuff, personal liability umbrella policies, that give you extra millions of dollars of liability coverage to protect your assets. The life insurance, that we don't do health insurance, but we do kind of the Aflac thing, is if you can want to kind of direct it in a certain way, where if you become disabled, if you can't work because you were shot or you were ill, or you can't, this will give you money directly rather than than your bill providers or whatever. Yeah, so we have an
The
array.
life insurance, what about, the one that you just educated me on? When was that, January?
December.
That you don't have to be, show proof of, help me out with the terminology, show proof of
Insurability.
insurability, yes.
So we have, these are fairly new to State Farm. They're called instant answer policies. So basically you would come in, we do an application, and it underwrites you right here at my desk. It takes about 10 minutes, and you walk out with a policy. A $50,000 policy for 10 years. This is a term policy. It's small, it's inexpensive, it's a great starter policy. Because if you don't have anything, $50,000 is really nice when something happens.
I mean, it'll bury you, for
Right,
sure.
exactly. So I tell people, I'm like, hey, listen, we have good, better, best. This is what I can offer you, this is your choices, you decide. But if I don't teach you about what I know, I'm not doing my job.
Right.
So that's one thing. And number two is love your family enough
To protect
to
them.
protect them.
Yeah.
Let them know that you cared. A lot of people will
Yeah.
come in, well, I don't have any kids, but you're gonna die.
Yeah.
So I can guarantee you may never in your life have a homeowner's claim. You may never need your car insurance. You may never need a disability policy, but you will one day in your life need a life insurance policy.
Right.
That's the one that you will for sure one day have to file a
So
claim.
that $50,000, is that based on age? The
No,
premium amount?
Well, they're around $20, $20 to $27. You have to be less than 45 to get them, but they are like I said, they're called instant answers because they're instant issue. You walk out with a certificate. So if you buy it right now, you walk out of that door and something happens to you, boom, you're covered. There's 50,000. So like I said, they're great starter policies because they're term. But it gives you time to think, hey, you know what? Okay, I've been spending these $20, I've gotten a better job, or you know what, I have more responsibility, I have 3 kids now, I have, a spouse, there's people that are gonna need me to be home or come home and make it home, and if not, how am I gonna take care of them?
Right.
So they're great starter policies because you can take money that you've paid into those and take that money and transfer it into a bigger permanent policy later if you want. So there's so many options there, but yeah, it's a good product. We went from a really small 5-year term before, and now State Farm did this one, but it's instantly. So you ask a few questions, you answer them right here, boom, 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 it's issued.
Yeah.
Like right on the spot.
That's really nice to have, but I think the whole thing with insurance is the whole education piece, and I do think that's why you've been so successful, because
Thank you.
you don't push the sale so much. It's like you like to get to know people.
Yep.
And chat with people, and and just educate. And that's really all you need to do is plant that seed, because once you plant that seed,
You get low-hanging fruit.
yeah. And so people get to thinking about stuff, and they're like, yeah, I might need to go ahead and do that. And of course, insurance is tricky. You need to do that kind of stuff sooner than later, because God forbid,
Exactly. And look at
something
us now.
happened. Yeah, look at us now.
I mean,
And,
thousands of lives
like with
lost.
me being self-employed, God forbid I get the corona,
Yeah.
and I'm, down for the count for a little
Exactly.
bit. That's,
Or something happens to you, and I tell business owners a lot. I have a lot of Hispanic business owners, a lot. Well, more when I was working in Durham. Here, it's a little bit different. But I would always tell people, hey, you're the boss. So you can opt out of workers' comp coverage, you can opt out of many things. I said, because if you break your leg, you can tell him or me or her, hey, I'm gonna need you guys to paint this whole building and I'll be back tomorrow. I said, but if I break my foot and I'm your employee, I can't tell you, hey boss, can you paint this for me? I'll be back tomorrow from a check.
Right.
It doesn't work that way.
That's right.
But you have to look at, okay, are you able to do that? Can your business continue without you being
Without
there?
you physically being there.
Yeah, so
Exactly.
that's another thing that, people have to really consider, and it's always like, oh my God, I'm spending this and I'm spending that, but one time that you use it, it pays for itself.
I'm sure.
I mean, like, right, there's these great hospital income policies that that I've become very passionate about for kids. They're about $68 a year, and if your kid just goes to the emergency room, you get a $250 check. $68 a year.
Wow.
And all is one, and you know what? A little Billy is always gonna run,
Yeah.
is always gonna play some type
Break
of
an
sport,
arm,
break an arm,
break
cut their hand, and do things that kids do because mine did it. But that one trip to the emergency room, and it's so simple and so fast.
Right.
$250, here you go. Boom.
Yeah. See, and that's
It's
the kind
great.
of thing that I love when I talk to you, just educating and, but that's the kind of stuff that needs to go out there to
It
the
does.
public. And so how do you, I'm not gonna ask how State Farm, I wanna know how you do it because you're the one that is successful. Yeah, State Farm has their own brand, but how are you successful in getting that education out to people? Like, do you do an email blast? Do you do Facebook Lives? Do you do?
I
what
don't
do
do
you
Facebook Lives. I'm very fortunate to know a lot of people. I've grown to know a lot of people. And I don't know if you ever read an email where at the bottom it says, the greatest compliment you can give me is a referral. And my success has been because people have trusted me enough to refer other people to me. People that will bring their mom, their dad, their siblings, like, everybody will come to me. And it's not, and it's hard because sometimes I have to sit here and juggle, okay, well, I know she's a daughter and she had this problem. Is the whole family gonna be mad?
Right.
What happens? But it's a balance, and in educating people and in being very clear from the beginning, hey, listen, this is what it's going to be.
Yeah.
I don't like to sugarcoat stuff.
Right.
I don't like
No,
to
you're not
tell
a
people what they
sugarcoater.
want to hear, and I've had to try to teach that to other people. Listen, don't tell them what they want to hear.
Yeah.
Tell them the truth.
Tell them the truth.
Because they will respect you more for the truth now
Yeah.
than you lie to them and then they have to find this out later.
Right.
Number one, just put it out there. Be honest.
Mhm.
Because you know what? When they leave me, if they don't like what I said, and they go to agency number B or Anna over at Nationwide or whoever, she's going to tell them the same thing.
Right.
Hey, you have 3 points. Hey, you know what? You're high risk. Hey, you know what? You're an inexperienced driver. And that's a lot of thing where there's a lot of, I have a lot of clients that we have this line of respect. I respect them and they respect me. It's easy to get caught up in stuff and, a man will show up and, hey, listen, I need cheap insurance. Your arms are so beautiful. Sir, your premium is this. Thank you. I appreciate the compliment. But
Because you don't dictate the premiums.
I don't. I wish I could, but not even with my family,
Yeah.
And it's something that, that's also another line because I
Yeah.
have a very big family. So
Yes.
I'll get calls from my family in Chicago. Hey, sweetie, this happened. What do I do? Oh, okay. So we do it this, and this, But I love what I do.
Yeah.
I love what I do because I love to help people.
Yeah.
So not just in a monetary way, but this is very rewarding.
It is rewarding, and just to get the education and be able to know what that stuff is, to be able to give the education. So how because you are bilingual, do you predominantly work with Hispanics or not?
Yes, well, I have, but here in this agency, and I keep going back to that, it's kind of a 50-50. There's not a big Hispanic presence yet, although a lot of my clients did follow me here. And we need a few more that, will eventually come, but, there's just a bunch of red tape with that stuff, but I deal with 100% of the Hispanic clientele here. It's a little different here because although I grew up in Raleigh and went to high school in Raleigh, I kind of lost touch with a lot of the people here. So this place has been a little bit more saturated by other agents, but it's okay because slowly I'm building that again, and I've had to learn how to rebuild that because I went from being very spoiled where I would come into work and there'd be 5 people
Lines of
lined up
people.
outside
Yeah.
to, oh my God, nobody's coming here.
Yeah.
So, but it's okay because it's just,
But it's kind of
I'm
fun to
relearning
rebuild
it,
too,
yes.
right? And,
Yeah.
and get those creative juices flowing
Yes.
to rebuild all this.
Yes, and calling on people like, hey, listen, I know that, I never did your house insurance, or I never got the chance to quote this for you.
Mhm.
Let's look at stuff. Hey, you
Right.
know what, now I'm closer to you because I'm kind of in between, Durham and then
Yeah.
all the outskirts of people that I know, like Fuquay and Garner and
Yeah.
Wendell and all these areas that, it's just new blood.
So that's kind of fun.
It is,
Kind
it
of
is.
nice. What has happened with the Hispanic community during this coronavirus in regards to insurance?
Right now, we are, State Farm has decided to pull all cancellations from March, April, May, and I think June. So even though people are not paying their insurance or cannot pay their insurance or weren't paying their insurance, they've retracted all those cancellations and all these policies are active, which is, it's a double-edged sword because now you're looking at, okay, these bills weren't going away, they're just building up
They're
for
building
later.
up, yeah.
So I'm trying to let people know, hey, listen, although you guys see these commercials and all this stuff going on, there's going to be some type of refunds and there's going to be, compensation to a lot of our customers. Don't get fooled by this. If you have a bill, I call people, hey, you haven't paid your bill, what's going on? Oh, well, I didn't get a bill, or I haven't got a cancellation notice. A lot of us wait till we get a cancellation notice to pay. But with those not going out, it's something where I'm calling them. And then, we have also been asked by corporate to reach out to every single one of our clients.
Oh, wow.
Kind of like a little welfare check, which is good because a lot of people are not doing anything right now.
Right.
Some people are at home, a lot of people are, are dealing with their kids and stuff, and they may not be thinking about this, but we do need to think about, insurance
Yeah.
and what's going on and how it's affecting everybody. And, people are looking at things a little different.
How do you think the local government, North Carolina, that is, treats Hispanics? I love that little giggle.
Yeah.
That means there's a story.
Yeah. One time somebody asked me, do I think in Spanish or do I think in English? Do I dream in Spanish? Do I dream in English? It just depends on the situation.
Okay.
So,
I want the truth.
The truth, I think Hispanic people, for the most part, are not treated very fairly here. North Carolina is a very red state, and a lot of blue people have migrated here, not just Hispanics, but from other areas. But I'm thinking of one of my kids was laid off of her job, and my brother and my nephew and a few of them, and all of a sudden they're receiving $950 weekly.
Oh, wow.
Deposited into their bank accounts, which is a blessing.
Wow,
That's
yeah.
amazing. They're making more staying at home than they were probably working with what's going on here and all the relief and all this stuff.
Mhm.
But I sit here and I look at my community that was laid off
Mhm.
and that doesn't have that social, but was that person that was cleaning your house,
Mhm.
that was that person that was cleaning the bars where we were hanging out, that was that person that is not able to sell their little tacos on the side of the road.
Mhm.
That were living and providing for their family, doing honest work,
Mhm.
and they're not getting
Anything.
nothing. They're not getting these extra food stamps that a lot of people are getting, that some of that I've heard, that people are getting, these extra hundreds of dollars extra and on top of their unemployment. And then there's all these little subsidies and stuff that's going on, and oh my God, everybody got the Trump care money. A lot of people receive that, and I look at my people, and I'm looking at Janie over here that married Jose, and Jose's doesn't have a social, so Janie didn't get that check.
Mm.
You know, and I'm thinking, gosh, but you know, Jenny and Jose pay their taxes.
So then why don't they get,
Because if you're married to someone that doesn't have if you do taxes and your spouse does not have a valid social security number, even though you've worked and you've paid your taxes and you've filed your federal and state taxes, you did not qualify for the relief.
so even if you have an identification card?
Even if you have a federal ID number,
Uh-huh.
you do not qualify for
That
any of
doesn't
that
seem
help.
fair.
It doesn't, right?
Mm-mm. That's
Yeah.
not cool.
Because maybe they're not hungry.
Mm.
You know, maybe their family don't eat or their family doesn't need power. So those are the things that you know, that really get to me.
Mhm.
They hit hard. I'm very fortunate that almost all of my family is not in that boat, but I do have family members in that boat, and it's hard to see, you know, mom and dad can't go to work, and you know they're not cutting their power, thank God, but the bills are still there and they're
Yeah.
piling up,
And they're piling up.
and you know, and they're not able to pay the rent, and they're not able to, you know, pay all these bills and just live their normal life, but are hardworking people that are being just so unfairly treated in this.
Mhm.
So it's
It almost
hard.
makes you wonder, who come up with this plan? Did they even think when they came up with this
Oh,
plan?
absolutely. Because if they put in there that if there's a clause in there that even if you file taxes and you have U.S. citizen children and a U.S. citizen spouse, because one person on your taxes, which everyone claims, you know, they don't pay taxes, wrong, you don't qualify for that money.
Wow.
So, yeah, it's unfair. To me, it's unfair.
Mhm.
But it's just like, you know, there's just some things that we can't do anything about.
No, but,
There's-
but I mean, we can definitely raise questions
Yeah.
and definitely talk about it, because certainly if somebody paid taxes into the US system,
Mm-hmm.
they should certainly
And
be
they'll
able to
never
get
see.
the stimulus money
They
and
don't.
whatever. I mean, I don't care what race, what ethnic group they are. I mean,
And it's very true. I mean, you can look it up. It's a clause and all that stuff where people did not get it. So it's hard because, you know, you have that girl that does nails, and you know, and she's not working and she's counting on the stimulus money, and
Mhm.
boom, there's a big slap in the face. No, you
Yeah.
don't get it.
no, you're not getting it.
So it's hard, but you know what, Beth? I think about things very, you know, it's a two-way street. I don't want people dealing drugs. I don't want gangbangers. I don't want, because I worry about my family too.
Mhm.
You know, I don't want my children to be at risk because, you know, the little thugs down the street are, you know, choosing to deal drugs out of their house, and they're gangbanging and they're driving drunk and all the stereotypical stuff that goes with a lot of Hispanic people. I don't want that either.
Mhm.
And if that's your case, I want you to go too.
Mhm.
I'm realistic about things,
Mhm.
you know?
Mhm.
If you're here and you're not living the way you're supposed to, you know, I'm not saying perfect,
Mhm.
but you know, at least follow the law.
Mhm.
And you're busted or you get in trouble, sorry, see you. I hate it for you. If you didn't think about your family, but I'm gonna think about mine.
Mhm.
You know, so I'm with people on that. I agree. You know, I was born and raised in the United States. My dad was here since he was migrated here when he was 12 years old. Lived his entire life here. My mom came here legally when she was like 8 or 10. My whole family, you know, my grandfather worked in the steel mills of Chicago. My dad worked in the fields of California. So you know, you know. People need to do stuff the right way. What's the right way? There's not a pathway to do things
What
the
does
right
that
way.
mean?
Well, you know, some people say, well, why do you come here illegally? Or why, you know, they're here, why are they here illegally? Well, honey, there's not a legal way to be here or get here. It doesn't exist. There's not a pathway. So if there's not a pathway, how the hell do you want people to do it? Make a pathway, you know, make it where people, one time someone told me, I don't even want to go to Mexico and come back. I just want to be on the straight and narrow here. I just want to be okay here.
Mhm.
I want to be able to go to work. I want to be able to feed my family. I want to be able to be a law-abiding person here.
Right.
I don't care to travel. I'll pay taxes. I'll pay extra.
Yeah.
Just let me be at peace.
Yeah.
You know? So like I said, you know, people will do what you make them do.
Mhm.
You get your car inspected.
Have to.
Why? Because you have to.
Have to.
Do you go renew your tags?
Have to.
Exactly.
Mhm.
So do you put your kids in school?
Have to. Yeah.
So the things that you have to do, people will do them.
Yeah.
Whether they're here legal or not.
Yeah.
Whether they speak Spanish, Chinese, Mandarin, or whatever they speak,
Mhm.
they will do it.
Yeah.
So that's my thing, that if there's not a pathway, of course everybody's gonna fuck it up.
For real. Yeah.
Because there's no right way to do it.
Yeah.
So everybody finds the wrong way to do shit.
And you would think by now that we would have our crap more together and have a pathway, because we do understand that, you know, we are the land of
And people
of
aren't going
abundance.
anywhere.
You know, and we understand all that, and people are coming here for a reason.
Mhm.
So there needs
Yeah.
to be a better pathway. It needs to be, I don't wanna say an easy pathway,
No,
but
I don't think it should be easy.
but it does need to be a certain pathway that do this, do this, do this, and boom.
You know what? If a United States citizen is made to register with the what is it called?
Selective services.
Select service, okay, we should do that too.
Mhm.
You know what? If
Mhm.
a US citizen is made to pay state taxes, federal taxes,
Mhm.
pay into Medicaid, Medicare,
Mhm.
you know, all that good stuff,
Mhm.
I think everybody should be made to do it.
Mhm.
Everyone.
What do you think the big Washington, the big government, how are they with Hispanics?
You know, it's really unfortunate that politics have gotten so grimy.
Mhm.
You know, everyone always knew, politics are shady, politics are this. But I think that with what happened and with the president that we ended up with, just shows how corrupt politics are here also, not just in other countries.
Mhm.
You know,
Yeah, ours just wear suits.
exactly.
Yeah.
You know, and I've told people that, you know, in Latin countries, people are more vulgar with it. It's like they don't give a shit. You can see it. I'll pay a cop or the politician this. But here it's hush hush. Hey, here you go.
Mhm.
It's all under the table. But it's happening here too.
Mhm.
It's very unfortunate that a lot of people feel that they have backing, kind of, to show their true colors. Because we're all racist in a certain way, I think. To some level, you know, we've all said racist things or had racist thoughts or have been raised a certain way. You know, my grandmother was a person she was very racist and she didn't hide it.
Mhm.
She did not hide it. My dad, you know, had his racist tendencies or thoughts or whatever. But I think that with what we have now, with all of these mixed children and mixed families, and, you know, you see all kinds of stuff now,
Mhm.
that people would think about things a little different,
Mhm.
as far as respect.
People are people.
Yeah, just so disrespectful. And so, you know, I was in Food Line before all this crap went down last summer or so, late summer, and it was me and my sister-in-law, and we went to get a few things as we were cooking out, and she and I were just having a good conversation. We were laughing and putting a few things on the belt, and there was this older lady in front of me, and the cashier was an older white lady, and all of a sudden I felt like a stare, so I looked up, and the cashier was just staring at me, like, and you could see this look of anguish in her face. I'm like, what the fuck?
For real.
Yeah, so, and I looked at her and I'm like, okay, so I just kept my conversation. And then the lady in front of me mumbled something, and I was like, what did she say? And then she repeated herself to the cashier. She said, you know what? I'd wish they'd come here and learn the fucking language.
Mm.
And of course, ding,
Here goes Martha.
And here goes Martha. Excuse me, ma'am? Her face turned red as hell because she thought I didn't speak the
English.
And I've been told, I've had Hispanic people before ask me if I spoke Spanish. Like, try to speak to me in English. I don't know. I don't know if you see that, but I see very Mexican when I see myself. I don't know how people get that, but it's cool. I guess it's just there's no accent there or whatever. And she made that comment, and she started to grab her things, and the cashier, she said, you know what? She does that all the time when she's in here. She is so rude and so racist. She said, and I was hoping that you didn't hear her.
Oh, wow.
She said, that's why I looked at you.
Wow.
So, of course, I turned around, I said, ma'am, I said, I'm going to tell you a lot of choice words time, that if I come out of this fucking store and I catch you outside, I'm going to mop the fucking parking lot with your ass. I said, so if she hurries, I will see you outside in a few minutes. I don't remember her face again. I mean, she could be right here next to me again, and it went. But you know, I have been, you know, part of that racism a lot. You know, Mexican this, and I'm the thing is that I can switch it up pretty quick, so I can argue with you in Spanish or in English or both at the same time.
Right.
Just depends on how excited I get. But you know, I love stuff like that, and I love, you know, when people will say something thinking that, oh my gosh, she doesn't speak that, she won't know that. No, really. I mean, let's have this conversation.
Wouldn't that be hysterical?
It is, and it's just, you know. And I've had discrimination, you know, with men in my business. You know, Mexican or Hispanic men are very macho, like, hey, you know what, I tell you what to do. I'm a man, you're a woman, you will bow down. And I'm tell you what, I almost got in a fist fight with a whole man
Is
at
that
work.
a culture
Yes,
thing?
that's a very culture thing.
Okay.
You know, and I happened to see him outside of work after that happened, and I was with my husband. I was like, that man right there said this and this and this to me. So of course they had a conversation.
Yeah.
I never had a problem from him again. I didn't need no one to defend me,
Right.
but I wanted him to know. And then, you know, and that's, you have to look at all
So
of this
that
stuff.
was another agent that was a Hispanic man?
No, this was just a customer that was in the lobby. Yeah, and he got mad, and he started cussing at me in Spanish. So, you know, I happen to be very fluent in cuss words in Spanish, so we kind of, you know, had a back and forth, and, you know, it was a Friday, 100 people in the lobby, and he and I were just and we were going that fast. So
Oh, wow.
I know people say we talk fast anyways, but I try not to talk fast in English because my words get,
Jumbled up.
yeah.
Wow.
Isn't it crazy?
How does other agents treat Hispanic agents? Or in your case, bilingual?
Well, you know what?
'Cause I see it as a huge benefit.
Yeah, State Farm agents have had a big turnaround when it comes to Hispanics. One of my biggest regrets was not leaving where I was at before I did, staying there that long. Because to a certain extent, I was discriminated too, you know, as far as my pay, things that I found out, or special treatment of other co-workers that, you know, shh, don't tell her, or, you know, oh, they won't know kind of thing, you know, or things like that. But I always stayed because I was like, oh my God, well, I'm working on this for this customer. And then a month turned into a year, turned into 5, turned into 10, turned into 15. Before I knew it, my kids were grown, they were leaving the house, and it was all gone. So the person I work for now, I've known her for about 10 years. She has a heart of gold, is someone that is very passionate about educating people also. But she is one of the best people you'll ever meet in your life. Which I really love. I love meeting great people. So I think that's why you and I click so well too, because it's like we just know.
Because we'll do whatever we gotta do for somebody. I mean, we will walk through the fire for somebody if we have to.
Yeah.
Because a lot of people can't walk through the fire.
Exactly.
And so, yeah.
And I know that you love your family just as much as, and family is everything to me.
Family's everything.
My family is my first and foremost on everything. In my extended family, and that, you know, I have it's just, they're that important to me.
Mhm.
So it's other agents don't value. I think a lot of people tried to get in and try to grow that business thinking it was easy,
Mhm.
and they found out that it wasn't that easy.
Yeah.
I had a passion, and I helped grow the place where I was at, where you went from 3 Hispanic households to thousands of Hispanic households
Mhm.
in the agency. And it's, we travel in packs, so there's always somebody there.
Mhm.
But it was very helpful to have good people to work with,
Mhm.
even though you weren't working for the best person,
Mhm.
But it's hard, people want the Hispanic business, but, we were told, oh, don't go to that agency because they're just a bunch of dirty Mexicans over there, from other agents that, these words got back to us, and a lot of people left.
What?
Yes, a lot of people left.
A lot of people,
Customers that were, the more of the red customers.
Yeah.
That were just like, oh God, no, I don't want to be there. I'll go down the street and he's gonna protect me.
Oh, wow.
So, but it's okay because it just these times, and I think that with this presidency and a lot of things that are going on, people have really shown their true colors. And like with Facebook, you'll see a story and like, oh my God, well, people that you think that are gonna respect you say some dumb shit.
For real. Yeah.
Oh, this,
Facebook
and you know what?
Makes me sick.
And I will delete a person in a second. Yes,
Yeah.
because I am that petty.
Yeah.
I don't care.
Yeah.
You know what? I don't post a lot on Facebook.
Yeah.
I take Facebook for what it is.
Mhm.
But if you're one of my friends, whether you're a virtual friend or we've known each other, whatever the hell you are, if you're gonna say some bullshit like that, knowing that these people are gonna see it, meaning me,
Right.
and you don't give a shit, okay, let's not give a shit then, fuck you.
Right.
I don't
Right.
need you. And that I'm that person, because I will never say nothing behind your back that I won't say to your face.
Right.
I'm that person.
But, they shouldn't be saying anything.
I agree with you, but
that
they
is-
do.
That is, number one, disrespectful. Or some of the comments that lean to racism,
Mhm.
or that lean to, I don't know. I mean, everybody has a right to their opinion, but, an opinion, we were just having
They're
this
like
conversation.
assholes. Everybody has one.
I mean, an opinion's opinion, but don't throw it up on somebody
Mhm.
and expect them to agree with your opinion.
Right.
People have to be grown enough to be able
Yeah.
to, if they want to talk about something like that.
I think there's a way,
There
if
is
you
a
want
way.
to express yourself, hey, you know what, that concerns me. Was this Hispanic person here illegal? Oh, but the bullshit that just runs out of people's mouths. Oh, I'm sure they've been deported 20 times. Is that, you know what, maybe, and I'm with you on that because I don't agree with that stuff. I don't agree with the people being here molesting children or raping kids. I have kids too. I don't agree with the people, dealing drugs and not living. Hey, if you catch them good, let them be gone. I don't give a shit.
I think that's the thing that people don't realize when it comes to racism. No matter what our ethnic title is, white, Hispanic, African American, whatever it is, we all are moms.
Mhm.
We all have children.
Yeah.
We all, have sisters. We all have whatever.
People we care about.
Exactly. So, family's family in every culture.
Exactly.
So, I get so twisted when people, everything has to be, well, that Hispanic girl, blah, blah,
Mhm.
blah. Why'd you ever say that part?
Exactly.
Why can't it be that girl?
Mhm. Yeah.
Or why, that white girl over there said, why?
Oh, God,
I mean,
yeah.
why do you have to say that part?
Yeah.
Why can't it be just
Because
that
it became
girl?
okay. Because people feel that, because if you think about, you're the leader of your house, okay?
Mhm.
And you have your son there, your daughter, your husband, your dad, your mom, your grandkids, and you're coming in and you know what? You don't bathe, you don't wash your clothes, you don't clean your house. Everyone in your house thinks it's okay,
Mm.
you know? But if you're that person that comes in, hey, you know what, you work hard, you hustle, you, for the most part, y'all pick up this mess. Hey, you know what, we have stuff here, but this house is not filthy, stinky, dirty. You know, we're making it. I'm pushing, setting standards, and I'm pushing my family to have some values and to have some good foundation,
Mm-hmm.
and to do things, you know,
Mm-hmm.
not perfect, but correctly.
Mm-hmm.
So your family has this leader. It's like your business.
Mm-hmm.
Look at you.
Mm-hmm.
You're an example of a leader.
Mm-hmm.
But, you know, if you have someone that's like, you know what, I don't care if I sell this stuff or not.
Mhm.
I don't, you know, how is that going to succeed?
Right.
And everybody behind you or beneath you is like, well, she said this. So, and that's exactly what's going
Why should I
on.
care?
That's exactly what's going
Yeah.
on. So you look at the United States president saying the bullshit that he says, and the stuff that comes out of his mouth,
Mhm.
and the things that he does, and you know, everyone beneath him, like it's
Mhm.
supposed to be,
Mhm.
thinks that shit's okay.
Mhm.
So you know what?
And you can tell the ones that don't think it's okay because you can see it all over their
Mhm.
face, and I'm like,
Yeah.
is that paycheck that important
Exactly.
for you to be bending over,
Exactly.
agreeing with that or whatever? But
Yeah.
one of my biggest pet peeves has always been, well, that black girl, blah, blah,
Yeah.
blah, 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 that black girl has a name.
Exactly. Exactly.
That Hispanic girl, call them by name.
Yeah.
They don't have to be that whatever.
You know, and we're such a mixture of stuff, you know. We have, in our family, we have everything.
Yeah.
Everything.
Yeah.
We have gay men, gay women, we have bis, we have black, we have white, we have Mexicans from Mexico, not just from Mexican parents. We just have such a mixture and such a, you know, an array of different people and beliefs and things that make us so great, because you know, hey, because I was, you know, taught by my Mexican mom and grandmother, you know, I can make the hell out of some tacos.
Mm-hmm.
My rice is banging.
And girl,
You know,
this white girl would love to eat them too.
I got you. But you know, and I can also, you know, I can make a mean lasagna.
Mhm.
You know, and I know how to make mashed potatoes and potato salad and fried
Right.
chicken. You know, so it's like you got the best of both worlds. You
Right.
know, so we're the yin and the yang, and I just, you know, that goes with everything.
Right.
And I've always taught my girls that, you know, you accept people for who they are.
Exactly. Why can't people just love people?
Yeah,
You know?
yeah,
And yeah, we're gonna have differences, probably difference of opinions, difference of this or whatever, but at the end of the day, the bottom line, you know, just love people, like you said, for who they are.
yep. But it all goes into. So you come to me and you say, hey Martha, guess what? Girl, my sister's husband's brother's dog did this and they did that. And I'm like, girl, Beth, that's terrible. You know what you need to do? You need to cut them off and cuss them out and do. But if I come to you and hey, you know what, Beth? Maybe they were just having a bad day.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe you can help them with a situation like this because I had this happen, or it all depends on who you talk to and how you listen.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
You know, because if you listen to people, you know what they're about.
You sure do.
So if you know, your
Yeah.
kid comes home, you know, Billy did this. Hey, you know what? You better go to school tomorrow. You better beat the hell out of Billy because I'm going to beat the hell out of you, you know? And you put this in this kid, and even your kid's freaked out. He's going to go, my mom said I got to beat the hell out of Billy. But you know what? If you're like, you know what, sweetie? We're going to talk to Billy. We're going to figure this out. You know, we're going to be at peace with this and move on a little bit different.
Mhm.
It just takes that difference. Because if you're that
Yeah.
person that, you know, I wouldn't say people trust, when people trust you,
Mm-hmm.
it's in you to say the correct thing,
Right.
you know, because you
Yeah.
can be helpful or you can be the damn toxic, damn poison that will put somebody over the edge.
Yeah.
And it all depends on how you respond to that
Right.
situation.
Mhm.
So that goes with everything. If you come here and if I'm having a bad day and I don't educate you and you go and you get killed walking across this damn parking lot, guess
Mhm.
what?
Mhm.
I didn't do my job.
Mhm.
But if I told you and you go get killed across this parking lot, I try to tell them.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So how do you think the current administration is, I mean, gosh, do they even try to help
No.
Hispanics at all?
No, there's, you know, I don't know if you've ever heard of DACA, of these dreamers. These are children, this is something Obama did on his way out, which some people say was illegal, what he did. But he said that if you came here as a child and you were here before a certain year, a certain day, like date with like November 2nd, 1999, or whatever the hell the date was. If you were brought here before that date and you were less than 34 years old or some, it was very specific. Basically, it looked at have no fault of your own for being here because you were brought here. You know, you didn't know you were coming here illegally. You didn't. Most of these kids didn't even know they were illegal.
Right.
But what he said is he was going to give them a temporary, you could say green card, a temporary card, a social security number, and he was going to let you stay here. You can't leave and come back, but you can be here legally. Okay? So guess what all these kids did? They started going to school. They started getting educated. There was all these requirements. You had to have you either have to be trying to getting your diploma, high school diploma or higher, and you either had to be in school at the time or have already graduated and trying to do something with your life. So all these organizations and churches and people started helping these kids out. Let's apply. And they call it DACA. Dreamers are what these killed. So it's a temporary act for these children that came here against their beliefs or wills or whatever. And a lot of these kids became lawyers and nurses and, you know, engineers and went into the military. So, you know, this card, you have to renew it every few years. It's like 5 years. Some of them that I know have become insurance agents, licensed insurance agents, gone back to college, went to prestigious universities. So some people were upset. Like, they're going to use our education system? Well, you know what? They're going to have to pay out-of-state tuition. Guess what the Dreamers did? They paid it.
Wow.
And they still pay it.
Wow.
Okay? So now, as these cards are expiring and people are having to renew, Trump says, I don't want to renew these cards anymore. I want to, this shouldn't have been done. I don't agree with it. I want to put a stop to it. So what happens with these lawyers and doctors and nurses and people that paid for educations, that are paying their taxes and they're working and they're buying houses and they have cars with loans and
So what does
insurance?
happen to them?
They're up in the air. Because now so it went to the Supreme Court and they said, no, we are going to let them renew. We're not, kind of like out of sight, out of mind. Let's just not talk about this. Let's not think about this. There's no pathway from being a dreamer. So eventually those people will age out of that program. And what happens? That's it.
What happens?
Nothing. They get deported. They have to leave the country because they cannot renew their
Can
card.
they become citizens?
There's not a pathway. So if let's say I am a dreamer and I marry you, and you say, hey, Martha, you know what? I'm a U.S. citizen. I'm going to petition immigration. Well, immigration says, hey, you know what, Beth? Your wife, Martha, came here illegally. Even though she is a dreamer, she came here illegally. So right now, she would have to go back to her country of origin and apply to come back into the United States after a 10-year ban.
Oh, good gracious.
So I'm a doctor and I'm your wife because I was a dreamer. So if this, but that, so that's the thing that's so frustrating.
So
like,
what I'm hearing is no administration really has taken the time. I mean, this is
not since Reagan.
Yeah, that's what
You
I'm
know,
saying.
Reagan my dad got legal
in Reagan time. So that's what I was going to say. This was even way before Obama and stuff, that they didn't take the time. No administration has taken the time to create this pathway thing that you keep talking about.
That's it. Yeah.
But with the huge.
One of my kids just got in a car accident.
Oh, good gracious.
Yeah. Yeah, so that's, you know, there's if this, but that, but, you know, there's nothing there.
So with the huge population of Hispanics that we have in this country.
If you need to answer that, definitely go ahead.
Yeah.
Let me call her back.
For sure.
Yeah, well, we can pick up there.
Okay, give you a break. What happened?
Dang, that had been a terrible car accident and I was dying and somebody's telling you that I'm dead. You wouldn't answer the phone.
Melissa, stop being dramatic. What happened?
Somebody hit me in the back and then they left. But it was because the car in front of me was turning and so I was slowing down and I already could see that the people behind me were going too fast. And so I started slowing down, but I was like waiting for the car to turn in and they stopped in the middle of the road and then they turned in. And then I was stopped waiting for them to turn in and the people behind me didn't stop and fast enough.
Jesus Christ, how
and then
bad?
They went around me and they left and I tried to go follow them and do it, but the freaking car that was turning in was still not turned into the parking lot.
So nobody saw anything. How bad is the car?
It doesn't look like anything, I don't think. Like,
Okay.
it doesn't fit bad and it doesn't look like there's nothing wrong.
Okay. All right. Just calm down. It's okay. Don't be nervous. We'll look at it when you get home.
Calm, but dang, like, I'm calling you this an emergency and you don't answer
Melissa,
the phone.
I was on the phone. I called you right back, sweetie.
Okay, I done called you, Jasmine, Stephanie, Gabby, don't none of y'all answer the phone.
I'm so sorry. I'm sorry. Why didn't you call my office?
Girl, I don't know your office phone number.
I'm going to send it to you right now so you have it. You can always call me here. All right. Where are you at now?
I'm about to get on 80.
Okay. All right. Just calm down for a second, and then we'll take care of it, okay?
Well, I am calm, there's nothing wrong. I didn't do, I'm not hurting nothing, but dang, y'all couldn't answer the phone.
Okay, sweetie. I'm sorry. All right. I'll see you in a while, Mama. All right. Bye. Example number 1. Did you not hear that girl? Did y'all just hear her? Well, dang, I could have died. The car's fine, though.
I bet you get dumbass calls like that all the time, and it ain't your damn family.
All the time. All the time. All the time.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
It's funny. But yeah, you know, we're going with the flow. We're doing what we got to do and looking at all this stuff.
Martha
So
being calm as a cucumber.
if I would have started going frantic, that's a prime example.
Mm-hmm. She would
You
have
know,
went there.
she was about to fall apart right
Right,
now.
right.
Nothing wrong with the car.
Mm-hmm. But y'all ain't
She's
answering the
fine.
damn phone.
I called everybody, nobody answered the phone. But you call her, she won't answer the damn phone.
Mm. Mm. Mm-mm.
It's crazy, isn't it?
Which one is that one?
That's my middle one. It's
Mhm.
Melissa.
Mm-hmm.
So I try to get her to move back home, but she has this apartment in Greensboro. She's too grown to come back home.
So she's in Greensboro
Uh-huh.
calling you.
She's coming to do my damn lashes.
Oh.
She's gone. If
Oh
I
my-
must put it out there.
Yeah. Oh my God.
And that's something
That is funny as hell.
I know, but there's you just got a glimpse of it.
She's
You
like,
just-
I'm a girl, a glimpse of it. Hell, I've lived it. I got children.
I know. She little Amber right here.
Honey, Amber don't hardly ever answer her phone.
Oh, this one doesn't either. Never.
But when she calls me, I better answer,
Oh,
or
yeah.
she'll send me a text.
Oh, she sent a
Same thing though.
she sent a text in
Yeah,
capital
usually I'm
letters.
working, doing something.
She sent a text in capital letters. Girl. Yeah, she sent me a text in
She
capital.
sent you a text that said, "Girl."
Yes, girl. She yelled at me
Do
through
you need
text.
to remind her that your title is Mama,
Beat her ass when I
not
see
Girl?
her. I can't piss her off right now because I need my lashes done. But when we're done with this lash appointment, we're gonna have a conversation.
As soon as she finishes that last
last
lash,
one.
Martha gonna turn around and be like,
Did you ever fucking call me girl again, girl? What's your problem? Crazy self. Isn't that something? Oh,
"Get
anyway.
my trash that way."
To
Right.
quote unquote, you know, going to work, legal, paying taxes, driving correctly with proper insurance, and
Just legit. Period.
legitimately what you're supposed to live as a model American citizen, you know? but then, you know, they're standing on this rug and it's just about to be snatched from right under them.
That's not fair.
So, you know, you look at those things. So what the hell do you want? Do you want, you know, and you're looking at, okay, these kids are most of them are doing great, and you know that if they get in trouble, they can't renew. So if you
they
get
gotta
in
be good.
any legal trouble, you get a DUI, you're done, you're out.
Wow.
You have a felony, you're out. This is very, I mean, this is like raising these kids that you want them to be absolutely perfect. You know, you don't get in trouble. You don't disrespect people. You pay your taxes. You go to work. You're not a criminal. You listen. You pay attention. You do as you are told. These are like damn beat-ass stepchildren, you know, that you're raising like this, but what the fuck? You know, what do you want? You know, you sit here and like, oh, you know, all these people bringing all these drugs into the United States. Well, why the hell would they be bringing them in if people here didn't want them or didn't use them? You know, the government isn't stupid.
Yeah.
The government isn't stupid.
Yeah.
They're, you know.
And why are they all Hispanics? They're not all Hispanics doing that shit.
Exactly.
I mean, it's everybody across the board.
Exactly.
Don't let that white suit over there
Oh yeah.
fool you.
That's you know, and the thing is that when you're, you know, I know drug dealers, I know major drug dealers, I know major drug lords, and these are people that I know personally. And you're sitting here, and why the hell do you do it? Why do you do it? Somebody has to do it. There's money to be made. Don't let the U.S. fool you. This shit is, what comes in is what the government lets come in. They're not stupid. Technology is so fucking advanced.
For real.
I mean, they see
I wonder why they're allowing that to come in.
they see your IUD before you get on a plane. They're not gonna find drugs coming across the border. Come on. You know, so if you can be over so much intelligence and know when people are going to commit a major you know, crime or have this big plan to ruin the United States or to, you know, attack us, you have that much intelligence, but yet
But you
there's
can't keep drugs.
billions and billions of dollars in drugs coming into the United States in a fucking trailer, in a fucking plane, you know. Come on.
And they're allowing it.
How do you...
For what?
Exactly. I mean...
Are you going to try to give me some BS answer because
Illegal
of revenue?
immigration is down. Because why? Because they put some control over it. They're watching that stuff so close that people can't get through. Well, you know what? That doesn't make me mad. I'm not mad at you for that. Good. But you know what? You have a whole heap of people here. And they're already here. And you know what?
So let's take care of
I
it.
love walking into the grocery store and buying them big ass red juicy strawberries that are out right now. But I'm gonna tell you what, on my way home, I pass 2 farms and I will drive right past them to go to the grocery store to get the ones that have already been put in a box for me. Because I refuse to do that kind of shit. And I used to take my girls, don't get me wrong. Don't get out there in the heat, you know, picking your little strawberries. And, you know, I made them little migrant workers or whatever you want to call them. But it's just not for me. So for people to sit here and say, hey, oh, they're here taking our jobs. Do you know the shitty ass jobs that most of these people are doing?
Right.
I don't know any illegal sitting behind a desk like I am. No, I don't, probably none. I don't know any illegals, you know, pushing a button as a job or, you know, sitting pretty or, you know, illegal people
Yeah, they're doing
in a hospital, you know, taking care of patients or doing that nice, hard work that's very well paid. I don't see that. You know, a lot of the illegals that I know are the people that come and clean out the damn porta potties on construction sites or at the fair, or the people that are picking the damn strawberries and the potatoes and all those beautiful vegetables that we love to see right now. We walk into the grocery store and they're set up so pretty.
Beautiful.
But I don't understand. I mean, if you want that work, go do it. Why are you, my family that is legal right now, that could go work on a farm and do some shit like that, is getting $950 a week to sit at home.
Mm-hmm.
It's the truth.
Yeah, I have a niece who's a senior in high school that she was a hostess at a restaurant. Making, like.
A nice pay.
To sit at home.
Yeah.
Clearly,
who
the
wouldn't?
system is broke.
Exactly.
Clearly.
And you have people that have 5 kids, 4 kids, a mortgage, rent, insurance, light, water, gas, groceries, needing, basic things and oil change, gas for your car, maintenance and your kids' stuff and internet and paying cell phone bills. And they're picking fucking sweet potatoes. Planting cotton, planting tobacco. You know what? If that's the job you're here to take, you could have it.
Yeah, you can have it.
If you need a ride from the border over here, I might go get you. But I'm gonna tell you what, I sure as hell am not gonna do it. And I would never in my life say that there is an illegal person here taking our jobs.
Right.
Because when you go to Bojangles and
Let me tell you what's taking the jobs. What's taking the jobs is people who want to fucking work.
Exactly.
That has no ethnicity.
Exactly.
It's the people who want to work is taking the jobs.
But you know what? I want to work, but I don't want to work in a fucking field.
Right.
I'm not
But
gonna do it.
you've educated yourself enough to where you don't have to work in the field because
Exactly.
if we
But you hear
didn't,
what you said? You don't have to.
right.
So for people to, I hear this so much. Oh, they're taking our jobs. I'm so sick of hearing that. They're here illegally. They don't pay taxes. They're taking our jobs. Do you know what people on a fucking farm make?
Right. Do you know how they're living?
Yeah.
The majority of
I
them.
mean, it's terrible.
Yeah.
It's terrible working conditions, terrible living conditions. And and I'm guilty of it also, of overspending or, taking advantage of, oh, well, you know what, I can buy this today. I don't want that. I'm going to throw it away. Or, you know what, I know I just went and bought $300 worth of groceries, but I just need to order pizza because I'm not going to deal with this. And you're sitting there, you have people that are making minimum wage, trying to raise their family. They don't have any help because although people say, oh, they're getting all this welfare and this and that, you can't get shit if you don't have a social.
Yeah.
I'm telling you.
Yeah.
Because if you could, why the hell would people work on a farm? Just get you some damn welfare.
Yeah.
I mean, it has to balance out. It has to be equal.
Yeah. Trying to get benefits for mama. Yeah, this little welfare system and any of the systems that you have to go downtown for, yeah.
Insane.
It's crazy and it's not fun and it's not easy. Like mama don't get nothing.
Oh yeah.
Wasn't able to get anything. I mean, it's
my
nuts.
father-in-law worked his whole life here. He recently passed away and he worked his whole life here. He was legal. He got legal when Reagan was in office, and he would come here and work in Fuquay in the tobacco fields. Every year. He'd work all summer and then go home at the end of the year back to Mexico and come right back in the spring and do it all over again for years. And he ended up going into construction, and then, long and behold, he wanted to become a U.S. citizen. And I said, you know what? I said, you have to take a test. You have to take a civics test. And he said, he was always a very grumpy person. He said, you know what? I'm going to do it. And he did it. So I was his interpreter at immigration when he went and got his citizenship. And I was trying to help him cheat. Because there was a question that says, how many years is one term for a president? And I was like, so I told him the question in Spanish, and I went, like this, and I'm like, and I kept trying to say the word to him, and he was so focused on the damn question that he wouldn't even let me help him cheat. It was like the only one I knew anyways, you know? Fucking questions were horrible. Oh my gosh. So he learned these 100 questions with their answers. Everything from your responsibility as a U.S. citizen to voting to who was the first president, all this crazy shit. But you know what? He passed it. He passed it. A year after he became a U.S. citizen, he had a major stroke in Mexico. So we brought him back here. And because he was a U.S. citizen, he was able to get long-term care insurance through Medicaid, Medicare, because, you know, he was a farmer worker his whole life. He didn't have this great retirement. His retirement was under $500 a month. So all he could do was go back to Mexico and live with that bullshit money.
Right.
That's all he could do.
Yeah.
He paid his taxes. He worked hard. He was legal. He did it by the books and made all of them $3 an hour or whatever the hell it was back then, or a bushel. And he was in a facility for 13 years. Went home this past December and passed away this March.
Yeah.
He wasn't even there 4 months, and the whole 14 years that he was in that bed, and he felt that he was being punished because he wanted to go home, and he wanted to go home, and this wasn't his home. I said, you made this his home when you became a U.S. citizen, and he said, I'll give it back.
Oh.
So, you know, when he finally was deteriorating in health and, you know, had his leg amputated and went through so much and finally went home, he said, I just want to die at home. And guess what he did?
He did.
He died at home.
Yeah.
But that's, you know, and that was a man that some of his children are still illegal here, even though he was a U.S. citizen. You know that his children, or some of his children, are still illegal in this country. And they're the hardest working people I've ever met in my life. That, you know, don't care about having a cold, don't care about their leg hurts or their back hurts. They're going to, you know, pour your concrete and lay your bricks and wire the electricity in your house.
And
because
we need them. We need them all.
we need them.
We need them all.
We need them. Reagan was the last president that opened an amnesty in the United States. And that's where that's how my dad became legal. My mom was already legal, but being illegal never stopped my dad. He hustled since he was 12. His dad died when he was very, very young, and my grandmother had a lot of children, so he, you know, left Mexico and migrated to the U.S. at 12, and she didn't care, you know.
By himself?
By himself. It's not that she didn't care about him, but she knew that, you know, she had all these children. She was a single woman. You know, they were very, very, very poor, to the point of like not even having shoes and stuff. So, you know, my dad hustled and worked hard from the get-go, you know, ever since he had to. So, you know, he put those core values in us about working hard and, you know, and being good people, because my dad would give the shirt off his back to anybody. Now, he beat your ass if he had to, but he was a good person. He was a good person.
Sound like
He did the best.
expected greatness.
He did, and he, you know, very rigid, but you know, he still had a lot of those Mexican tendencies where, you know, oh, you were to pick up his plate, or, you know, shit like that. Now I'm like, oh, hell no.
So you're the modern day Mexican.
I am the modern day Mexican, you can say, because I tell you, I can cook and I can clean really well, and I don't have a housekeeper.
So what
Except for my
happened during
kids.
the Reagan days? Because obviously, you know, I remember Reagan, and, you know, people that
He
know me
opened
know that
amnesty.
he was actually my favorite president.
I had a favorite president. My favorite president
I
was
had
Bill
a
Clinton.
favorite. I had a favorite, and it was Reagan. But what I don't
Why?
know, because I guess I wasn't in that world, was
Yeah.
what he did do for Hispanics.
I remember when he opened up that amnesty, people went batshit crazy, and you had to leave the United States and come back in legally. So I remember my dad leaving, and he and my mom going to Canada, because that's where he was assigned, because we lived in Chicago. So you went to the closest border and you came back in.
Like, go in, come out?
Yeah, like leave, go to the United States immigration consulate, whatever there, and just come back in. Just, you know, pick up your paperwork, and now you have this legal entrance into the United States of America.
Okay.
And I remember it, like I just remember them leaving one night, and we were just like, We didn't get it. Like, what?
Mhm.
My dad's getting papers? What kind of papers? We have all kinds of papers here. Why is it
Mhm.
be papers? But yeah, and my dad was that person that he didn't care to go to Mexico.
Mhm.
He just wanted to be right here.
Mhm.
Just like correct, like in order, like not worry, you know.
So do you think the system for Hispanics was better during that period of time, or was at least on the right track?
It was, you know what? I think that, I don't know when there was an amnesty before Reagan, but Reagan to me seems like such a long time ago.
Yes,
I was a
too.
kid, but I think that they're, not that it was better, I just think that it's overdue. I think that the immigration system is so broken here.
Sounds like
And it just needs a complete overhaul. I just think that there's, you know, these backlogs and all these people having to, you know, my husband was illegal and we went through the immigration process. And he fortunately did not have to leave the country. He ended up paying a fine of maybe like $1,000 or $1,500, something like that. And they forgave him, because basically what they're doing is they're forgiving you for breaking the law and coming in illegally, or they're punishing you for that. So he was punished, and at that time, immigration said, well, if you pay this extra money, we'll let you not have to leave the country. You can just do your process all here. So, of course, hell yeah,
Right.
$1,500, $1,200, whatever the hell it was,
Right.
cheaper than plane tickets and leaving and having to come back and all that shit. So we paid it.
yeah.
We just took care of it. Here you go. Here's. Do you want do you want an extra 1,000? We can give you an extra 1,000 now. We don't mind.
Yeah.
Because like I said, people will do whatever the hell they're made to do.
Right.
If they tell you you have to do it, guess what?
So I think that's a big lesson to the powers that be, that, you know, if they would take some of this, what I call negative energy and negative drama, and put it into more positive areas, you can have a
Yes.
pathway, a better pathway.
Exactly, because if you look at all these millions of kids that are dreamers and how these families are depending on this one or two kids, because oh my God, little Miguel has a license now. And guess what? He can buy a car or 2 cars or 3 cars or 4 cars or 8 cars, because he's going to help his family now, because that's what we do. We help our family, right? So, you know, he has, and guess what? He paying taxes on those flipping cars. He's paying emissions. He's paying title, taxes, tags, and insurance. That's generating revenue.
For real, yeah.
But you imagine if not only Miguel would buy 4 cars, but what if Miguel's dad got some type of license or way to do it? He's gonna do it too. And his mom would do it, and his uncles would do it, and his aunts would do it, and everybody would do it. And it would be such a boost in the economy. But I think that someone would really have to sit down and say, hey, listen, we're not going back to square one on this, but we are willing to compromise and do this for the safety of our families that are here legally, or that are legal, or that have children on these roads. You just heard mine. Someone just hit her and took off. You know what the first thing I thought?
Yeah,
What did we just talk about?
yeah.
So why did this person do that? Were they illegal? Were they drunk? Did they not have insurance? Why
Right.
did they do it?
Why do they run off, knowing when they hit her?
Exactly. So you're looking at, okay, if we have this in order and we're able to say, hey, we're not giving you a driver's license or an identification to travel or go into a military base. We're saying that we're giving you a card that says that you have passed a driving test, that you have insurance, you live in the state of North Carolina, and you are going to pay title, taxes, and insurance here. And we are going to know that you live at this address, and if you get in a damn accident, we know who to go after. But if you want to sit here and act a fool and drive drunk, you will not have that privilege. And you will forever be banned from having that privilege. You know what?
That's
If that happens to you, we're going to fine you $5,000 cash. Because you broke the law. You made a stupid decision. And you knew this. You signed up for this. You knew that this was going to happen, and you were told from the beginning, and you agreed to it. So nobody broke your little rules, or nobody's singling you out. Hey, listen, you were told. Why not?
I'm just so glad that there's somebody like you as an agent that will educate people, you know, Hispanics, not Hispanics, to educate people about, you know, all of the policies and
Yeah.
different things
It's a
like
lot.
that. It is a lot. And I know you have to keep up with it daily and
Mhm.
probably keep your customers updated
Yeah.
daily too, because.
Especially with all this uncertainty right now.
Right.
Also.
Yeah.
You know, and you're looking at, when people sit here and say, oh, you know what, all these minorities are dying, all these, well, where are our priorities? And I'm not talking about the government, I'm not talking about healthcare, I'm talking about us as people.
Those is people.
Hey, you know what, Mom, I don't feel good. Oh, go sit down, shut up, there's nothing wrong with you. Hey, you know what, son, let's look at this.
Mhm.
You know, it's that thing that, you know what, are you or I gonna sit at home if your son is sick or my daughter is sick and we know that they need help? Are we just gonna sit there? Hell no.
Right.
Most people won't.
Mhm.
But you're looking at, okay, are the people that are dying, or the people that are not getting the help that they need, are those the people living in the shadows, you know?
Mhm.
And it's hard. It's
Yeah.
really hard, and it's sad. And it's so unfortunate that this mess wasn't taken serious from the beginning.
Mhm.
But that just goes to lead, you know, back to, if you're a leader,
Mhm.
you know,
Top down.
if the top of it, if the number one person in your life, in your household, in your job, in your country, or whatever that leadership, because
Mhm.
there's leadership on every
Every
level,
level.
in your church, in your house, in your
Mhm.
business, whatever it is,
Mhm.
you know, if that person doesn't step up and say, hey, because that's like you know you can't go door to door, you know you can't go here, there, and everywhere, but we
But I
have a need.
switched it.
But that's right, so you adjusted because, but you put that, hey, so now your kids are looking, hey, mama's not doing it, but mom is doing it. It doesn't matter, it just a trickle down effect.
Mhm. It's always top down.
That's all it is.
Yeah.
So whether it's, I'm teaching you about insurance, whether I'm talking to my children, whether I'm talking to my community,
Mhm.
whether I'm talking to my friends, it's just levels on everything.
Mhm.
There's levels on everything.
Mhm.
You know, there's people that I look up to. You know, I have a younger sister that thinks she's the boss.
Mhm.
I told you that you better not that. Shut up. You know, but she's my voice of reason a lot of times, and I love her.
Mhm.
But you know, it's the same thing, just like I tell my kids, hey, you know, and they're also different, and everybody, right now, everybody wants to be on top, everybody wants to be the boss, but nobody wants to do the job.
Mhm. Mhm.
So what are we doing?
Spinning in circles.
Exactly. So if we don't get out here and try to make the change that we need for ourselves, it's not gonna happen.
Yeah.
So that's comes with everything, going out to vote, being involved in your community, doing conversations like this, educating people,
Mhm.
you know, on every level.
Mhm. And that's what these podcasts are all about, is definitely educating people. I am doing it through successful women, because typically successful women, we have some traits about us. You know, we have some hardcore beliefs, we have some hardcore work ethic, we're so involved typically with people
Mhm.
that we know, you know, what people are thinking, feeling, you know, that type of thing. But yeah, this podcast is definitely for the strong, successful woman that, you know, and typically a strong, successful women have been through some shit,
Yes.
which
Yes.
has made us stronger through character, stronger, and just stronger in general. So.
Right. But you know, I'm always up for a good discussion, a great argument, an educated argument. Now, I'm not gonna sit here and waste my time arguing with people, but you know, opinions are like assholes. Everybody has one.
Right.
And you know, I love this. I think that we're, you know, we're doing something good.
Mhm. I'm excited. Thank you so much for your time today.
You're very welcome.
You know how much I love being with you. It's always
social
good.
distancing.
And yeah, it's so good to always be with you, because we will go from here to here to here to here to
No,
here and talk about everything.
Our
So
ADDs.
yes. So don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel. Don't forget to give us some thumbs up and some likes. And check out my girl Martha Sanchez. Did you tell them your name?
Yes.
Okay. Check out my girl Martha Sanchez here at State Farm Insurance, and see you on the next episode.